AITAH for snapping and asking our server, would you like us to order less? Posted by Intelligent Truth 95. So, for context, I am 34 weeks pregnant. After work today, I met up with a friend and my husband at Raw Bar for oysters and beer. I can't have either of those things right now, but was happy just to be out. I walked in a few minutes after them, just as they were being greeted by the server. When I walked up, she looked at me and said, "I see you waddling up. You can't eat here." I laughed it off. I assumed this was just an off-color joke and told her I was happy just to hang out. After ordering drinks, my husband started talking with her about the oyster selection. I introduced my husband to oysters a few years ago. When I'm not pregnant, going out for oysters and beers is one of our things. I normally order the oysters as he doesn't know much about the different types and how the flavor changes by region. It's not a big deal, it's just something I know more about. He normally chooses our beers because that's something he knows more about. So, after server told us about the different choices, I started discussing them with my husband and telling him which ones I thought he would like. Our friend ordered other Raw Bar items but didn't want oysters. The server seemed annoyed by this and made a comment about how I was being bossy. I ignored her, ordered the oysters for my husband, and made no other comments on anything else that was ordered for our table. After the first round of food, my husband wanted more oysters, so he called the server back over. He asked me to tell her which oysters he liked so he could get more. This is where things went south. At his request, I ordered for him. The server, looking very annoyed, said that I was pushing him around, and then said, "I hope you come back when you're not pregnant so I can get to know the real you." I snapped. I asked pointedly, "Would you like us to order less?" She got quiet, walked away, and a new server helped us for the rest of our night. Now, I do think she was out of line, but pregnancy hormones are real, and I worry I should have just seen this as harmless clowning and not snapped at her. Our friend says I was in the right. My husband says it wasn't worth engaging in. So Reddit, AITAH, dancing in the low light, comments, NTA. What she said was impolite and unprofessional. She should have just done her job instead of making unwanted comments. Velvety Chaos comments. Agreed. As a former server who liked to joke with guests, the "you can't eat here" part of the joke was the only thing that was funny, assuming it was said in a joking tone. Everything else was way out of line to say to a complete stranger. There's only a few things I can think of that would explain the server's behavior, none of which justify it or are even remotely professional. The server is someone who takes minor things personally and was offended that OP was educating her husband on the oyster selection better than the server, which is dumb. The server was attracted to OP's husband. The server prefers to wait on all male tables so she can be flirty to earn more tips. Doesn't mean she's attracted to the guy she waits on. OP killed the server's favorite pet. Completely random, but so was the server's near outright hostility since OP waddled up to the table. NTA. Winternan comments. She looked at me and said, "I see you waddling up. You can't eat here." She was already out of line right there, and making comments about you being bossy or pushing your husband around was completely out of line. I've never heard a single server making such a comment to anyone. It warrants calling the manager over. You are totally NTA. DRCS comments. You came in after your husband? To me, it reads like she was trying to make a play for your husband, and she was extremely rude and inconvenienced by your presence. First commenting on your walk and then trying to say not once, but twice that you're overbearing? NTA. Calamity Clam Bake comments. NTA. I own a restaurant. I would fire her. Commenting on someone's pregnancy at all risks liability exposure. Legally, we can't discriminate based on pregnancy. Even if you're about to pop, if you order oysters and a beer, that server has to serve you just as she would anyone else. She doesn't know you're pregnant, and it is illegal for her to ask. Living First 185 comments. I was a server for over 10 years. It made me more patient in some situations and less in others. Other servers I worked with, especially as a cocktail waitress, always wondered how I made the most tips. I tried to tell them, never disrespect the wife. I can't imagine behaving like your server did, and if I had, I would have expected to not be tipped. You are absolutely NTA.